What's going on, everybody? It's no surprise that Dennis Rodman had a reaction like this to Bruce Jenner in regards to now being Caitlyn Jenner. He's just being honest about it. In the 90s, people weren't as accepting about people doing things like this as far as becoming a transgender woman. On a phone conversation with TMZ, Dennis Rodman goes from talking about Caitlyn Jenner having Bruce Jenner having his ass handed to him, all the way to trying to ask him out on a date. So pretty much right now, as far as what's going on with the LGBT community, it's pretty much a situation now where a lot more people are accepting to it. Now, in regards to the effect that it's having on the youth and the confusion, it's a lot different, and that's what I wanted to talk about, because they actually talk about Dennis Rodman's book, where young boys would tend to dress up as a female to play house, and that was it. And Rodman also talks about when he wanted to pose for Sports Illustrated, when they didn't really want him dressed as a woman back in 1995. So a lot of things have progressed into a point where, because of the acceptance of it, more and more children are becoming either transgender or gay, is pretty much what Dennis Rodman is alluding to, because it's more and more accepted. Pretty much, growing up, for me, if a girl was acting like a guy, they were just considered a tomboy. That was it. You know what I'm saying? You grow out of it. It wasn't a situation where she definitely wanted to be a male. Same thing with boys. They would act a little bit feminine, but they would pretty much, it was like phases that kids go through. At this point right now, it's a lot different, and that's pretty much what a lot of the people have a problem with. As far as people that are saying, this is crazy, why wait until now to do it? Why make it so public if this is something that you wanted to do? Let's be realistic. He's not going to make money. Caitlyn Jenner's not going to make money if it's kept private. You might as well, get what you can get from it. And a lot of people also had this to say. Bruce Jenner, when he was Bruce Jenner, had a problem with the paparazzi. Now it's all about paparazzi with Caitlyn Jenner. So it's a lot of things that's going on with it that makes it a little bit contradictory. But at the end of the day, this is what pays. This is what people are into. This is the type of things that people want to be a situation where it's more and more acceptable, as far as not being judged because of what you are, is pretty much where we are with it. Dennis Rodman, he pretty much says, look, you know what? A lot of athletes will come out now and say they're gay. Now, if you guys go back and remember about Michael Sam, that was huge. But think about it. He didn't make any NFL team. He's playing in the Canadian Football League now, so we don't really know what that situation is going to do. Was it worth it for him in the NFL to do it? It doesn't look likely. So I don't know if those type of sports would allow that to happen. We had the guy in the NBA, pretty much Collins, but that didn't work out too well for him either, as far as the team being a winning team. So we have to see exactly how that's going to transpire. Now, Michael Sam did say that a lot of people reached out to him and in fact told him that they were gay, but that's just him saying whatever he wants to say. Of course, he's not going to put names out there because people obviously didn't want their information out there. So you would have to be naive to think that they're not homosexuals inside Major League Sports. It's just the fact that it's not that time for them. They don't believe. And of course, you're going, if you're a big name player, you have a lot more to lose, in my opinion. If you're a guy that is not really getting acclaim and you want to do it, that's different. But based on what other men in that locker room will feel about you, I believe that that's more important to them than their sexual preference, in my opinion. Just speaking to athletes and understanding their mindsets, and I'm speaking about professional athletes, they don't want that attention. So with the way that this is going right now, because everything has been Caitlyn Jenner, 1 million followers on Twitter in 4 hours, which is a record. It's been a lot of stuff that's going on with it, and I'm just, again, addressing the fact that a lot of things have changed, and it's sort of like society is pushing people to, in a different aspect, be who they are, because they're not allowing children to actually go through phases like they used to be able to go through them. And if you want to do it, go ahead and do it. It's pretty much like, look, if you feel that way right now, let's do this, let's do that. from what I'm getting from both sides. To me, I believe that people should be able to, be accepted regardless. You just don't want to, you don't want to have that feeling of, all right, this guy is that way, let's stay away from this guy. And that's coming from me, a person of color, to understand that you're looked at a certain way. It's not good to, to feel that way. So I wouldn't want anybody in the LGBT community to feel that way either. It's just about the way that you proceed with it. And of course, some people are going to have to come out like Caitlyn Jenner to help the movement and be willing to go along with what happens. But all in all, we have to see where this is headed. More and more people are going to continue to do it, whether it's for the acclaim of the spotlight, whatever, we don't know. For the most part, I thought that the interview that Bruce Jenner had prior to becoming Caitlyn was a little bit, not a little bit, but very, very authentic. I think he felt like he was, in fact, feminine in that aspect. A lot of women have said he can never really be a woman because he could never go through the things that they have gone through. Examples of menstrual cycles, the things that make them strong, being treated a certain way by men. So, there's a lot of discrepancies there. The bottom line is we have to understand that certain people are going to be what they want to be. And that's it. In this day and age, we have to be able to fall back and let people be what they're going to be. So, that's pretty much what it was about. And Dennis Rodman was very honest about it, about how far they've come, his experience of being dressed up as a kid and stuff like that. So we get to understand that in certain cases, it wasn't necessarily true that because you felt like you were feminine back in the day, going through your phase, that you would want to become a woman later. Yeah, you want to dress up in women's clothing, feel, do whatever. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to do that, but it was a phase that you went through. It wasn't something that you would go forward with. And then now it's just like, all right, I'm going to do this. Not saying that this was Caitlyn Jenner's point of view with it, but, Dennis Rodman speaks about it in those kind of terms. And then he goes ahead and ends it off with, because Caitlyn hasn't decided what her sexual preference is, Rodman has a message for the 65-year-old. If you want to go on a date with me, brother, let me know. So pretty much, Rodman is open for anything. This is a guy that dated Madonna for a little bit. He's done a lot of craziness, so he's open to whatever. And that's his business. We know what it's about. One of the greatest rebounders in NBA history ever. Dude had no problem chasing the balls. So, I'm not surprised at all about it. But we'll see what happens with it. But again, this is the way the world is now. People are going to be who they are, and people need to understand that in most cases, when it's not for the spotlight and stuff like that, people are going to be a lot more accepting. When it comes off as something where a guy is just trying to get attention, people are going to be a lot more biased and be a lot more upset about it. Let me know what you think about Dennis Rodman's advance to Caitlyn Jenner. Until next time, it's always one love.